Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel once again. So today we are going to learn some flower drawings and I'm going to show you 4 with multi-layered petals in it. I'm going to use these gel pen. These has different sizes, size 005 for fine element and 01 or maybe 05 for bigger elements. So if you don't have it, don't worry about it. You can just use normal ball pen or pencil to start with, because anyways we are only going to learn how to draw these flowers, so you can just simply use a normal pencil as well. Now let's start with the first one. So create a circle like this. The flower perspective for this particular one is towards you, so you can see everything what's going on inside the flower. So create another circle inside the main circle, having little bit space in between so that you can create some petals, and then create one more circle inside it. So basically we have three circles: smaller circle, then middle, and then the bigger one. Between middle and the bigger one we have little bit space so that we can create some petals around that particular area, and the middle two section are for the ovary of the flower. Creating one more circle, and with the help of stippling method I'm creating some dots around it, and then you can create small circles in this particular area. So basically we have total 4 circles, so we are creating these small circles in between the smallest and the second smallest one, and then fill all the middle section so that we can get a negative space of round kind of shape in between. So we need to make the ovary beautiful, that's why we are doing all these detailing. So do it carefully and slowly. Now let's create a petal kind of shape around the center part of the flower. So these are also the part of ovary itself. So this flower has a bigger ovary like the sunflower, you can imagine, and then just do the same thing in between two leaf kind of structure. Add one more structure and do some multi-layering of these smaller element into this particular area. So just repeat it throughout this circle. I'm not going to show you because now you have learned what needs to be done here. So you will end up having something like this. It's quite a beautiful center part of the flower. Now just add a zigzag kind of pattern around the edges so that we can get some bold element. Now we are done with the ovary. Let's remove the unwanted pencil mark and then start creating petals. So this is almost oval kind of petals we are creating here. I have created one in every direction, and then in between two we can create one more, and then between two you can create one more. So this is the first layer of the petals. As we are creating multi-layer flowers in today's painting, so definitely we are going to do some multi-layering. So let's see these two petals. So you can add either one petal or you can add two petals like this. This is the second layer of the petals. Either you can create only one petal, or maybe if the size is the gap is bigger, you can create two. And see how beautiful layering of the petals you can see around it. Now create a line around every petal that you have. You don't need to create a straight line, just you can draw a wavy lines like mine. So I'm repeating this throughout the petals that we have. And now we are done with the petals as well, so you can keep your flower like this only, it's also fine, or you can do little bit of shading in it. I'm just holding my pen softly and creating some sketch kind of pattern into my petals. I'm not going to do this sketching process throughout all the petals. I'm going to do it for a few petals around front layer and around the back layer. You can go from inward to outward direction like I'm doing for the behind petals, or you can do from outward to inward direction like we did for the front petals. And I think we are done with the first one. Let's not overdo it. And obviously you can do your own stuff while doing all these kind of things, like adding shading and hatching process. All these things you can do by your own to make your flower more beautiful, but I think it's enough for now. Now let's move to the second one. So for this one also, again we need to create different circles. So this time I'm creating inner circle towards upward direction, not in the center, because this perspective is totally different. So create the inner circle not in the center but towards the upward direction. So this is the horizon line, and we are creating the 3 circles in that particular line itself. For the smaller one, I am doing some cross hatching process to highlight this area. Then around the middle circle we need to create some small flowers. You can create something like this, having 5 petals in it. So I'm going to fill the edges of the second circle with this particular structure. These are the small flowers. So literally in this video I'm trying to get as many as detailing we can do for the center part of the flower as well. Now with the help of contouring method, create curves like this in the center part. So we need to do some shading around this area, but we don't need straight lines to shade this area, but we need a curved line to get little round kind of structure in the center, and create some hatching process around it. Then fill the in between area between 2 smaller flower to get some bold structure. So something like this. So you have 2 flowers, and then we need to fill the center space between these 2 flowers, and you will get something like this. Okay, now let's create petals. So this time I'm creating petals not round or oval kind of shape, but you can consider it as oval but little wavy structure around the edges of the petal. So something like this. So as per your space between the inner circle and outer circle, you can fill the area with the petals. And again, because we want to achieve multi-layering petals, so create 1 petal between 2 petals and repeat the same thing throughout the circle. So basically you will end up having something like this. So definitely this is a beautiful flower having multi-layer petals in it, and the perspective of the flower is totally different than the first one. This is more like towards the sky, so that's why we can see the density of the multi-layering structure at the base better as compared to the other area. Now you can do little bit of shading for this particular flower as well. So I'm doing shading around the edges and highlighting the intersection area between 2 petals. So I'm going to repeat this for many petals in between, but I'm not going to do it for all the petals. If you have time, you can do these kind of things throughout your flower and petals, but for now I'm just doing it for few petals in between just to save our time. And now you have understand like what kind of sketching methods we need to do to create these kind of flowers. So we are done with these 2 for now. Now let's move to the third one. Now for the third one, create a basic structure having oval kind of shape, and then stem of the flower, and then create a horizontal oval shape at the top of the base. So something like this we need to create. Just trace everything with the help of pen. So for the base structure, what we did in this particular flower, same ways we are going to do for the base of the flower as well, but this time I'm creating little bigger leaf kind of structure, and again I'm doing multi-layering of these structure around this oval shape. So just add one more structure in between two and you will get something like this. Fill the whole area and see how beautiful this structure is looking. Now you can add line in between around every structure. So I'm just creating a straight line from top to bottom, and you can do some hatching process around the stems to highlight the stem. You can do a little bit of cross hatching as well if you need dark shade. And let's do the petal area. So for the petals I'm creating some open flower and some closed flower. So for the open flower I'm doing something like this, create a pipe kind of structure and then open it from the top, from the tip of the flower. And for the flower buds you can simply create a round kind of shape or oval kind of shape. Because this is bushier, so you don't have to worry about the shape and size. Just simply create all these structure in the oval shape roughly. Create some closed flower buds and flowers around it. You can do more and more until you will satisfied with your flower. So something like this we have created. So we have multi-layering of the petal, and we also have some multi-layering structure in the base area as well. And then you can do some cross hatching process in between these structure. So I'm not doing it for all these structure that we have, but I'm just doing for few in between. You can choose different shading mechanism if you want to, but I'm just using this cross hatching process to expedite my process. Now we're done with the third one as well. Third one is quite simple, but I like this flower too much. It's quite easy to draw. Now let's move to the fourth one. So for the fourth one, again we are creating a circle, then inner circle. This one is little smaller, and then create one more circle just at small distance from the smaller circle. Now we have three circles. Now let's concentrate on the inner circle. So we are creating a round kind of shape, but not a smooth round shape, having zigzag pattern around the edges. So something like this. So fill the area with this particular structure. Basically the first one and this one is quite similar to each other, but totally different, I should say, because we are doing some similar kind of process, but it will look totally different from the first one. Again I'm filling the in between area, and I'm adding some dots around the negative space that we have. Now for this particular area, create the same structure but little bigger this time. Again I'm creating bigger round kind of shape but having zigzag pattern in it, and then create smaller circle in between so that it should look like these are the small flowers around the edges. Now again fill the area to get some highlighted touch at the center part of the flower. So if you compare this one and the first one, you can see these are quite different from each other. So basically when you create a different center part and different petal shape, you will get totally different flower. So in this particular flower I'm creating petals in rough form. So something like this I'm creating. It's not oval, it's not round, and some wavy pattern around the edges. and then create some in between petals to get some multi-layering effect. So I'm creating one more petal to create second layer, and I'm keeping it this much only. I don't want to overdo it, so it's fine for now. We are done with the center part, we are done with the petals also, and then just try to do some extra detailing. So I'm again creating lines in the petal, and then I'll do a little bit of shading like we did for the first one or for the second one. And with this soft hand, try to do some sketching around the petals. You can go from inward to outward or from outward to inward, but also remember we need little bit of negative spaces to see what's going on in the petals, so don't forget to do that. And you can do this for all the petals, but I'm not doing it. I'm roughly trying to cover few petals from the front layer and few petals from the back layer. So for now this much is enough, and we are almost done. So hope you have liked this video. Do let me know if you have any feedback for me, and thank you so much for all your love and support and watching my videos. So see you guys in the next video.